This little book is really a neat little book. It's on apitherapy. It was written by Charles Mraz several decades ago. He's passed since. He was a country beekeeper in Vermont, and he got heavily involved in apitherapy. Apitherapy, I suppose, means, well, let's see, api, means bee in Latin, so it would be bee therapy. And when most people think of apitherapy, they're thinking of bee sting therapy or bee venom therapy. But it really means not only bee venom, but also propolis, beeswax, pollen, honey. Any product of the honeybee is really a part of, if you use it for health benefits, you're using it for an apitherapy. Now, what I'm most interested in here today is bee sting therapy or apitherapy with bee stings. And my question is, does it help with shingles? I laid in bed last night thinking about whether I'd do this video or not, wide awake because I couldn't go to sleep, and you'll understand why in a minute when I show you what's going on. I've got a mediocre case of the shingles going. I've seen worse cases. Thank God I don't have it any worse than I do. It's bad enough. I don't understand it completely. Shingles is like I think a virus of the nerves or a virus of the tissue. And what it feels like is your nerve endings are raw or open or inflamed, and that's what I have going on. And it's been about a week since it started to show up. It showed up originally as just a kind of a stiff tingling muscle in my neck and my shoulder, and I didn't think too much of it that day when I first noticed it, and by the next day it was a little worse. Couldn't really move my neck much. And then the following day after that, I started to see little bubbles in my skin, and I knew something wasn't right. One of my best friends, Jack Johnson, my next door neighbor, is an ER nurse. He's been an ER nurse for 30 years, and I called him and talked to him about it, and he helped me for sure understand that I had a pretty good case of shingles, and he gave me some advice, and I of course got on the internet and did a lot of reading, and I've talked to other people that have had it. And today is Thursday, and by last Saturday it was really starting to get kind of painful, and I think it was Sunday night. I got no sleep, and I couldn't sleep at all because it hurt so much. And so on Monday, I had Jesse here do me up about a dozen bee stings right in the inflamed area, and my only request was just don't put it right on a blister. And anybody that tells you that shingles doesn't hurt has never had shingles. That's all I got to say about that. It does really hurt. And when you put a dozen bee stings on an inflamed shingles area, it truly took my breath away. It's one of the most painful things I felt in a long time, but after doing some reading and researching, I really thought I was making the right move. And it actually did turn out to be the right move, because that was the first night that I was able to sleep good, or sleep good enough, and that lasted for 2 nights. Now, last night was Wednesday night, and I didn't sleep at all because I couldn't. I just laid there hurting. And I decided we'd do some more bee sting therapy today. Jesse's good at it. He knows just what to do. And I'm standing next to this stack of packages because I need something to lean on, because last time I could barely talk when we were going through this. So, and I'm going to try to keep my mouth shut this time and not use some of the language I used last time. That truly gave me pause. That was pretty rough. But it worked, and that's why I'm here a few days later to do it again. There's a chapter on it in this book about how it helps with shingles, and I don't think it doesn't cure shingles. What it does is it helps with the pain a lot, and that's why I'm doing it today. And I'm going to ask Jesse the same thing. Just my shoulder muscle is real bad, and my neck muscle, and I'm probably not going to want to talk once we get going. So get it up and down my shoulder, maybe around the back of my neck, the front of my neck. I'd like one right on the cheek because it's crawling up my whiskers a little. I want one just at the whisker line there.
Okay.
And my ear hurts. Like we can't put it on the ear. I don't think that might be a little bit too much. Maybe one in here, just around, and just do the best you can. Anyway, I'm going to put a link to this book in the video description if anybody's interested. And let's get started with this. Okay. Okay, Jesse's got some bees here in a little cage, and he's going to sting away, and David's going to try to get a little closer with the camera and show how that's going. And I'm going to try not to say anything and not faint. It's like putting a bunch of bee stings in an open sore. It really will truly give anybody pause.
All right, we'll start with your neck.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yep. The key to bee stings is to leave them there for a while. Ooh. Yeah.
Ready for another one?
Oh yeah, go at it.
You want another one on the neck?
Sure, yeah, just wherever you think. Just don't, I wouldn't put one right on a blister or a scab.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. Jesus.
I don't think that one really went in.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Or yeah, maybe it just touched it, but I can feel it.
Okay, I'm gonna go on your shoulder.
Yeah, just keep going.
I'm gonna try another one. She's not ready.
Yeah, it's odd how some never will sting you. Young bees don't sting well, real young bees.
Oh, come on. She keeps trying.
Hmm.
Yep, we got you there.
Man, that's like 10 times normal. Oh. Yeah.
I'm moving down to the shoulder now.
Okay.
I'll put one more on the shoulder.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Put one on your chest there.
Yeah, that one. That was the worst one last time. Ooh.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm used to taking stings. I do this, do beekeeping for a living. Jesse and I get stung every day, lots of stings, but it ain't nothing like this. This is different.
You want one on the neck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh. I think my wife's standing here hurting more than I am. You hurting, Suzette?
You ready for
Yeah.
face?
Sure, yeah, why not? Oh. God.
That one stung fast.
That one stung fast, yeah. I didn't say it earlier, but the shingles has got my whole face hurting. My ear hurts. My eye is twitching. I don't want it to get in my eye. That's a disaster if you get shingles in your eyeball. It's all down my left arm. My left arm hurts all the way to my fingers. This area really hurts, my shoulder and neck. Before I got the first round of bee stings, I couldn't twist my neck. And the first time I did this, I had Seth give me 5 or 6, and I went home early. I only live about 5 minutes away, and by the time I got home, I could tell it had made a huge difference. So I drove right back to work and had Jesse give me another 6 or more, I forget. And of course, like I said earlier, that night I slept pretty good and felt a lot better. We'll just go with that for the moment and see how that does. And Jesse and I are going to go feed some bees later this afternoon and probably go home early. What else can I say about shingles? First of all, you can't get shingles from somebody who already has shingles, but if you haven't had the chicken pox and you come in close contact with that person that has shingles, you can get the chicken pox. So I've checked with my bee crew. Everybody's had the chicken pox. David right in front of me has had the chicken pox.
Sorry, Bob.
No, we need to get it out. Then you can wash your hands when you're done doing this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This is a different kind of pain. I've been stung a lot before, but this is different. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, David. 10 minutes later, it's going to sound really corny, but I'm actually already feeling a little better. I still got a little of the residual pain from the sting itself, but my neck's better. I literally feel better than I did before we started this 10 minutes ago. That's so odd. It'll be interesting to see how I feel. We'll get the camera out again about an hour from now and give another report. I actually feel better already. That's weird. Okay. Okay, it's been about a week since I took the earlier part of this video. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm still not 100%. I have to be careful how I touch myself and how I move and lift things. It's still pretty tender in this area right here, but I am doing a lot better. Bottom line, did the bee stings help me? I have to be careful how I say this. I personally feel like I derived great benefit from it, but I would never tell somebody else that they should do it. I think that's a personal choice, and perhaps they need to talk to their own doctor about something like that. Bee sting therapy is not for everybody, and in this case it's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. It gave me the ability to get the rest I needed. I think it took the pain down to the level where I could actually sleep at night, and I think that was very important. And funny thing, the day that I took that earlier video, I felt like that the situation was still progressing. My face was beginning to develop little tiny blisters just right in this area, and my ear was getting blisters inside, and I really felt like it was progressing, and at a pretty good pace too. And the next day, all of these blisters disappeared. My face quit hurting, my ear quit hurting, the blisters were gone. And when I looked at the blisters on the front of my body, it seemed like they had begun to reverse. I definitely turned a corner, it seemed like. Now, it could have been coincidence. Maybe that situation, that virus was peaking at that time, and the bee stings had nothing to do with the change. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not even an expert at apitherapy, so I really can't say for sure. All I can do is share how I feel and what my experience was. I'm glad I did it. I'd do it again, judging from my experience. And I hesitated to put this video up because, as someone might imagine, it's a little embarrassing. I'm not sure it puts me in a really great light. But after thinking about it a while, I think that if somebody can watch this and gain some benefit from it, that it's worth putting up. Tomorrow morning I'm going to post it, and for better or worse, it'll be what it'll be. We'll see.